Hi everyone, Linda here again with you from Gumnut Lane Jewellery. This week another, well actually it's not, well I guess you can call it a link, but it's actually a bead cap design that I designed as a link. That doesn't really make sense. But anyway, this is the link, guys. And it's not totally finished. I haven't wrapped the bottom here as I've wrapped there, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what the link looked like. So if you'd like to learn how to make this link, then just stay with me. I'll get all my supplies together and we'll get going. Okay, so let's get started on our tulip bead caps. So I've cut off a piece of wire measuring 20 centimeters, which is, just let me have a quick look at that, about 8 inches, should see you right. I'm coming in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to come down about halfway. You know, you don't have to be exact, but fairly much in the halfway mark there. And I want to come up about halfway along my round nose pliers. Now you can see here these are short round nose pliers, so if you've got a set of the longer ones like this, then you'll have to work it out. As you can see the difference there in those. Yeah, so I'm going halfway up these short nose ones. Just seeing if I've got that halfway now. Yep, I do. Okay, and we're going to start off like we're making a wrapped loop. So you bring in your wire over and then you're bringing it around. And we have that. Now this loop in the center doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see it. And I'm just grabbing a couple of pair of pliers here. Okay, I'm going to hold on to this loop with one set of pliers, and then my little snub nose, flat nose pliers, I'm just going to grab the end of that wire and just give it a little bit of a turn up like that. Now you can let go of the other set of pliers, come in with your, and you only want your pliers to be narrow. These measure, just let me give you a quick measurement on these. What's that? They're about 3 millimeter across. Okay, get back into position here. So I'm holding that right down on the bend, and I'm just going to bend my wire over like that, grabbing as close to that bend as I can. You won't get all the way up because it is a bend, but as close as you can. Bend your wire up again, come into that bend at the bottom and bend over. And we're just going to do this for a total of, you want 6 hills. So that's a hill and a valley. So 6 hills. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. And 6. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my, just going to give this a little bit of a bend around, just to shape it, like that. And then I'm going to trim it off. Okay, and I'm going to turn my piece over. And I'm going, oh, pliers are what I want to use here. Goodness gracious, Linda. Excuse me. I'm just going to bring that loop in. I didn't want to bend the loop. Grab that. Okay, it's going to bend out of shape. Sometimes it has on me and sometimes it doesn't, but don't worry about it. You can just pull it back in. And what I want to make sure of is that my loop is higher. Should have mentioned that to start with. that my loop is higher than my hills and valleys, at least that by that much. Okay, and I'm just going to bring these all in. Straighten it up if you need to. Just get in and grab where you can. It's a little bit hard sometimes to grab them. There you go. I got my loop totally out of shape there, but I'm not worried about it. As I said, it's going to be hidden anyway, so okay, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to come in with a pair of pliers, and I'm holding the loop and the long piece of wire here, and at least one of our little hills. So I'm going to grab the top of the hill, and I'm going to bend it back. Do the next one if you can, but I can't. I can feel that that's not gripping it well enough, so I'm going to move these pliers down and bend that back. You want a good grip on this side here while you do this. So what I mean, if you don't have a hold of this here, then the whole thing bends. So you've got to make sure you've got hold of it really well where you need to bend. And then the last one. And then I'm just going to check them and see if I've bent them back as much as I want. That looks pretty good. Then I'm going to come around to the front side of this, holding on to my loop here with my pliers. I'm just going to bend these around a little bit, just give them a bit of an arch, just like that. And then getting a good grip on this loop. And I'm just going to start bending those around, just come around slowly. You might have to change angles to get it going. And just bring that around. And the aim is to get your loop in the center. Now, mine's not totally perfect, and as you know, I don't go for perfect on everything, but I want it reasonably centered. So you can just hold on to your loop and maneuver these around a bit till you get it more centered. And that looks pretty good to me. I'm not going to fuss with that too much. Yep, that looks okay. So now I'm going to grab hold of this little tail that we have here, and I'm just going to kind of tuck him in like that. You just don't want him sticking out. The bead's going to be here, so it's going to be protected so it doesn't you know, catch on things. So you just want to bring it in a little bit. So that's looking pretty good. I could have bent mine out a little bit more if I wanted to, but we'll have a look as we go along. You can, you know, play around with it and change it as you go. I'm going to use carnelian bead here. This is a 8mm faceted carnelian, and if I can find the hole, there it is. Just move my pliers out of the way for a minute, bring my bead up, and I'm just going to sort of, you know, make sure it's reasonably centered on top. It's not going to be perfect all the way around because we're doing freeform here, organic, and it doesn't need to be. But just as long as it's not sort of sitting too much to either side, like all out of whack, you know, you just want it reasonably centered like that is. Okay, so you come up to your other side now, and again with the round nose pliers in about the same position. And we're just going to start another wrap loop. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I'll start this one, then I'll go off camera. I want to try and keep my videos as short as I can because it's getting harder to upload them all the time. So we're going to do the same thing. Where's my other pair of pliers? Just to hold on to it so you don't, you know, totally wreck your loop. Just bend up. You're not going to get in as close this time because your bead's in the way, which doesn't matter because you can adjust after you've done them. Hold that still, Linda. Good girl. So just come up like that. You just need enough space between your loop and this wire here to get your pliers in. And then you can start your little hills and valleys again. So I'll do those off camera and I'll come back when I've got those done. See you soon. Okay, so I'm back with you. So I've done my little hills and valleys and pushed them all close together as I showed you up this end here. So now we're going to grab the end of this loop again, and we're just going to bend those around, just shape them into a bit of an arch shape. And just start bringing them around. Changing positions if you need to. I'm just bringing that tail in there that you can see, hopefully. Bringing that in, just tucking it in a little bit. You might need to grab another pair of pliers, a pair of finer ones. Just tuck it in the best you can. And I'm going to grab that loop and just straighten things up a bit. Okay, got him tucked in better. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. Now you can leave it like that if you like. I just didn't think it looked finished off enough. You know, it could be a little bit gappy in places. So I just grabbed some 24 gauge wire. Now it doesn't need to be a really long piece, just, I always just guesstimate about that long. Give you a quick measurement on that. As I said, it doesn't have to be exact, but just to give you a rough idea how much I'm using is, I've got 17 centimetres there. That may be too much, but as I said, I just guesstimate. So when you're doing this, I found that the easiest way to get the wire to wrap around, because you don't have access to the piece of wire that's going through the bead, is to come through one of these loops like that, or one of the valleys of the loop, and just grab your wire, grab a pair of pliers, hold on to that loop and hold on to that wire as well, this long tail here. So we're grabbing that. You've got hold of this one here, so now we're just going to wrap that around. Go around a few times, just making sure it's nice and secure and on there nice and tight. Then you can trim that off. Oh, tools falling off my tool rack. And push that down. Tuck it down inside there. And now you should be able to wrap this one quite easily. Where is it? Where did I start with it? I've lost my place. Okay, I'm just going to come down in between there. I can't see where I'm supposed to be at the moment, so I'm just going to pull my wire down and bring it around and wrap. Now you can just wrap around the middle of the bead here if you like, or you can bring it down so it's looks more like an actual bead cap like that. So you're bringing it down a little bit over the top of the bead. Do you see what I mean there? How it's coming down? So you can take that down as far as you like, as far as what your wire goes. If you wanted to make it bigger around the top of your bead, obviously you'd need a bit more wire. But that's enough for me, so I'm just going to bring that up and finish it off. Just wrapping it around 1 or 2 times, however much wire you've got left there. And then cut that last little bit off. And tuck it in. And then you can have a little play if you want, like if you want to tidy things up, you can just get in there. Like, see, that guy's sticking up a little bit high, but I'm not worried about that. That's, that's all part of the free form. Give him a little bit more of a bend if you want. Bend it out a little bit more. But as I said, just as long as you've got access to this loop here, that's why you need to make sure that you bring when you're wrapping your hills and valleys around the loop, that you've got left enough space like for the loop your loop in the center to stick out. Just enough so you can fit a jump ring in like that, so you connect it onto something if you want to, be it earrings or a bracelet, necklace, whatever you want to do. So yeah, just make sure that you've got both of those loops at each end out far enough. And so when we come back, I've got a couple of pieces to show you and some beautiful beads. So I'll just get myself organized and I'll be right back. Oh, I forgot to mention, you obviously have to wrap the other end of your bead. I didn't show you that because I showed you that once. Sorry, I forgot about that. So yeah, do the same thing on the other end of your bead. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, before I show you the pieces of jewellery I wanted to show you, I wanted to share with you some beautiful beads I recently purchased. I'm showing you these on YouTube. I've already talked about them and shown them, well, a set of the earrings that I'd made with them on my Facebook group, but I wanted to share them with people on YouTube as well. If you are not a member of my Facebook group, I'm sharing them with you as well. These are called Zoltanite beads. So it's Z-U-L-A-N-I-T-E, I think is how it's spelled. These are, what do you call them? Rondelle-shaped beads or abacus, whatever you want to call them. But the beauty of these, I mean, they're gorgeous, just as you can see them there. And I wish I could show you. In different lights, they change colour. So they go from like an amber colour to a green and then into like a pink. They're just absolutely beautiful beads. These are just a fairly new gemstone. They were discovered in Turkey, and I think it was 1994. So that's how recent these beads were found. So yeah, they're new on the market. I haven't seen anybody on YouTube or anywhere else using these. Yeah, so I wanted to share them with you. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. So that was one set there. And you know their quality, especially when they come up with the tassels on the end. These were AAA quality, these ones. So yeah, I love them. And then these are little your briolette teardrop faceted. They're all the beads are faceted, so aren't they just gorgeous? Beautiful little beads. I'll just give you a quick measurement on this one. I've forgotten what they were. Okay, they measure 12 millimeters by, I'd say 9 to 10 roughly millimeters. So they're a nice size little bead. They're absolutely beautiful. They're just, the sparkle in them, it's just, they're gorgeous, aren't they? And then the last lot I got are these. Look at those. Look at the sparkle. Isn't it gorgeous? And these are, I've forgotten what the cut is on them now. Might have been emerald cut, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah, emerald cut in a square bead. It's got the point on the back. But they're just absolutely beautiful. I'm so in love with them. Yeah, so that's those, and I wanted to show you. I'll just move those over here. A pair of earrings I made using, people on Facebook have seen these earrings, but if you're not a Facebook member, then you haven't seen them. So this is a pair of earrings I made using the Zoltanite briolet drop at the bottom with a carnelian bead in the top, and this is the bead link that we just learnt in this tutorial. So that's a pair of earrings there. I think they're, you know, lovely. I like them. And then there's also, move those out of the way, a bracelet I made using this link. So these are Indian agate beads in this one, different coloured ones. And I also used a link that I showed you in a couple of videos ago. What was it called? The fleur-de-lis link. And I just changed it up a little bit by making a keyhole at the bottom and doing a bit of a wrap there on that. And then just finishing it off with a hook thing. But this is the link that we learnt today in a bracelet. You could put any kind of clasp on yours that you wanted to. I just thought I'd incorporate that because we'd just recently done a video on that particular link. But I think that looks lovely. I'll just pop it quickly on my wrist so you can see what it looks like when it's on. And that's it there. It's a nice chunky looking bracelet. It's nice and strong. So yeah, that's it. That's our tutorial for this week. If you're not a member of the Facebook group and you'd like to join, I'll leave a link down the bottom. It's a free group to join. We're up over 400, 400 and maybe close to 440, something like that. Members there. People are posting their work. I post my work, which is stuff that you do not see here on YouTube, to give you inspiration. So if you'd like to have a bit of inspiration, or you've got any questions or anything like that you'd like to ask, then you're quite welcome to join the Facebook group. We'd love to have you. It's a lovely group of people. And as I said, it's private, so there's no spamming or scanning or anything like that going on. It's just people that are interested in jewellery making and are there for the right reasons. As I said, I'll leave a link down the bottom. Other than that, guys, that's all I've got for this week. I shall catch you all next week. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe and go out there and make something beautiful. Bye.